Hello and welcome. I'm Adil Shahzeb and I'm joined by Federal Minister for Power, Engineer Khurram Dastgir. Khurram Dastgir, thank you so much for joining us. Since you have come to power, electricity has gone on holiday. It has vanished. What's going on?
Thank you for inviting me. No, it hasn't gone on holiday. We are generating the maximum amount possible, but we are faced with this tsunami of lies perpetrated by the previous government that Pakistan had too much electricity, or the previous permanent government put in too many projects. The fact is, two or three issues. First is, of course, the previous government and the Prime Minister Imran Khan's CPEC enmity that helped him not pay attention to very crucial projects on Tharcoal. And Tharcoal is extremely important because it's a domestic fuel. Similarly, he used NAB to criminalize and victimize the then opposition. But in that victimization, there was a Trimu power plant, RLNG, 1200 megawatts, that didn't come into operation. Similarly, the lack of attention and mismanagement led to the Karot hydroelectric power, 720 megawatts.
Which I believe is
supposed to begin today. But just one example, that the reason Karot is not inaugurated this morning was because the Election Commission of Pakistan forbade the Prime Minister to go, and the Prime Minister complied. Unlike Imran Khan, who just completely kicked off all Election Commission restrictions and went to campaign across the country, AJK, GB, when he was forbidden by the Election Commission to do so. So this Prime Minister and his cabinet is following the law. We are trying to manage the deep crisis of near bankruptcy that Imran Khan left us of 5,600 billion budget deficit.
Do we expect things to get better in July? Because I've heard the Prime Minister saying that, when it comes to load shedding, it might get worse by mid-July. But then it will...
No, I think yes, it will definitely improve. First, one of our nuclear power plants that was begun...
It will improve mid-July onwards.
Begun by Nawaz Sharif. It's being refueled at the moment in Karachi. So 1100 megawatts will become available 5 days from now. And then we are expecting a hydel power to kick in about 3,000 megawatts. So we are expecting that by 20th of July, the load shedding situation will improve. And in meanwhile, we are making our best efforts to use our efficient power plants to the maximum. There's also this issue, of course, of the certain very old plants which are producing very expensive electricity, but we are still running them because we want to reduce the amount of load shedding that people are experiencing. And we are still trying very hard to ensure that major cities of the country do not go beyond 5 hours.
Right. So we have received, Pakistan has received memorandum from the IMF. So how far are we from getting the staff level agreement signed with the IMF?
I expect it to happen within the next 7 days. I think we're very near, and in a week's time it should be there. And our real expectation is that the IMF board at the beginning of July, when it convenes, it will then accept that agreement and then make the $1.9 billion in payment. But the real important part is not the IMF payment, but when it certifies Pakistan's finances, then other our friendly countries as well as other international finance institutions will kick in, and we expect much better stabilization of Pakistan's balance of payments, Pak rupee stabilization, and of course our ability to pay for energy, which is now at historically high levels across the world.
I get I get questioned a lot on social media and in journalistic circles, and when I go and speak to the masses as well, that why don't we import Russian oil on much cheaper prices, discounted prices?
There is an English.
Has there been any policy decision taken in this regard?
There's an English idiom called red herring, which is used to say something that is completely misguiding when in search for the truth. So the Russian oil is a complete red herring perpetrated by Imran Khan. As we have went through the record very closely, there is not a single piece of paper an agreement, no MOU, not even discussion really. There's just this letter that was
Hamad
written
Azhar.
by one of my predecessors.
Yes.
And the fact is that the letter doesn't constitute in any way or shape or form.
Because there was no response.
There was no response. Even now, there is no offer in writing from the Russian government that they want to sell us oil. It's a complex procedure being used by different countries. And the fact is that there is also this issue of the fact that we traditionally buy oil from Arab countries. Our refinery use Arab oil. And the fact that there is a sensitivity, there's a diplomatic sensitivity from the Arab countries where we have millions of Pakistanis who are working there. So these are serious issues that have been taken up. But I want to use your program to communicate to the Pakistani people that if there is a serious offer by any country, let alone Russia, to sell us oil at a price cheaper than the international market, we will buy it.
Federal Minister for Power, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.